I'm not entirely sure what it is about me that like garners so much hostility from people. And there is like a long period of my life where I was just like, okay, bro, go do what you got to do. And I would just kind of like leave it alone and move at my speeds. And then I kind of realized that people thought that that meant that they could just continue to like harass me and stuff. And I kind of like went a little bit, I had to go to extreme measures to kind of like calm that down. And like I've said before that like Spirit was like, okay, you've really explored your shadow, because before I had not done that. And then I've learned how to like utilize it. And now I'm in the stage of like integrating it. And I think I've done that well. And now the journey is to get back into my light energy, my sweet energy. And before it was easy to do that because I was um, in a place of like ignorance of like not knowing like how terrible some people can be, right? And now it's like I have to embrace the gentle energy, um, knowing that there some of these people who are receiving my gentleness are monstrous, right? And it's like not easy work, and it's work that's very frequently misunderstood. And I really have to be careful like where and how I like project my shadow these days, because in the past, you know, my shadow was definitely like untamed, but it's almost like the opposite now. Now it's so fucking precise, right? um, that I have to kind of like listen to some more of like the light energies on my spirit team about like where to show mercy and where to show grace, and where there are opportunities for me to kind of like unleash the fury, right? And try not to take too much of that on from my own space of ego. And it's fucking crazy because I feel like I don't move out of my ego a lot. And a lot of the times when I'm moving out of like more of a divine and balanced place, people assume it's ego. Um, but I was like having this experience, and maybe this should be another video, but you know it's not going to be, where I was on live and I was doing my hair. And I've been used to getting used to the lives being more popular and growing with me doing my tarot and answering questions and stuff. And so when it got quiet, it was like humbling, you know, but in a good way, that like, you know, people come to the lives because I do good work. They're not coming there just for me. And it's something that I remind myself often. There was like a monk who went on a podcast that ended up on my For You page, and he was saying it's so important that when you are a divine channel, or you channel divinity, or you're famous, or you're an artist or something, that you recognize that the art, the fame, the divinity, it moves through you, right? And so any criticism is like of the divinity, and so is the praise though. And there's like this energy of like understanding that a lot of what people experience in regards to my spiritual work and my shamanism, and even like seeing me on TikTok, is not me, it's what moves through me. And there's like the concept of genius even is not something that you are, it's something that you have, and it moves through you in the same way. And we can get into a big talk of energy, but I brought this up for a reason that I low-key forgot, but I'm gonna come back to it. Oh yeah, so like when I get a spiritual nudge or a push that like this person needs shadow or this person needs light, a lot of the time when it's light, where everyone's like, oh, okay, they're just a good person, and I can receive that, but I shouldn't really, because it's spirit. Because like when I'm operating shadow, it's like, oh, they're doing this out of ego, they hate me. And it's like, no, I'm really not a part of this shit. Like I am. I do want to, take accountability as being the creature that acts on it, but in like a spiritual sense, there is like a amount of detachment, which like when you talk about work life balance and like being a human being who has like interpersonal relationships, but also being a channeler, it's like there's this energy of like taking accountability for all of it, but also there's this energy of detachment where it's like I don't take anything personally. Like it's very difficult for me to take something personally. But at the same time, if I've committed harm and somebody wants me to take an action to mitigate that, like moving away, or they kind of let me know what their boundaries are, or they tell me what their hurt is, I can kind of work with spirit and like make that something that I can do. But it's very difficult a lot of the times because I feel like it's hard to reason with with divinity, right? But like it's this energy of like we can work together. Like I mean, it's like this energy of like, let me put it this way: I don't like to be told what to do, but I don't mind accommodating people. I don't mind letting you know what I can do, and then letting like working around what you need and like trying to work and make that happen. But because of the way I am, I don't have a lot of flexibility. Even though I exhibit a wide range of energy, a lot of this is above me, bro. And I am doing my fucking best, but it's just difficult, right? And I'm sure like as I like start to engage with people more personally, it's easier when these people are kind of like not in the spiritual space, or they are willing to engage with me outside of the work that I do on social media, and they can just get to know me as a person because like I'm always channeling on here, bro. And it's like it's very difficult for people to understand that. Like sometimes I'm being silly, but even the silliness is a channel. And then it comes down to like who is like Karake, like who am I like when I put the phone down and I want to get around people, and it's like I don't know because I don't be getting around people, bro. I haven't been doing that shit lately. But I think there is like this unwillingness to understand that I'm a person outside of the work, and it very much frustrates me when people tell me how to do the work because the work that I am doing is not egoic at all. And so like to appeal to my ego is futile because my ego is focused on service when I'm on this platform, right? Like when it comes to other areas of my life, sometimes I get frustrated because I'm already doing that work and it's just like not it's that's not what social media is for, to tell you about like what I'm trying to do in therapy like every time. Like every now and then, yes, but it's not from a position of like, oh, this is what I need to work on. It's like, no, this is what needs to be said because it's amazing what words I say hit people, right? And I'm very grateful that like the work I'm doing is working and people are appreciating it and growing from it and with me and coming to me for this type of advice because it means the world to me. But there is like this completely other element of who am I when I'm not channeling, and it like can get really rough because like I feel like the priorities of spirit come through this channel and this page. And in order to know what I want and what I care about, it's like you have to like listen to me outside of this shit. You have to get to know me outside of this shit. And I feel like very few people are willing to know that because they just automatically assume that they've got me all figured out. And it's like, Bessie, how could you?